You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on this evening. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast Morning Show. How is everybody doing this morning? I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Good morning, Michael, Elwood, Irving, Timothy. What's up? Bonnie, good morning. Good morning. Whoo. Armando, what up, brother? What up? So got a few things to talk about today. I want to start by first saying that I'm one to get a little bit frustrated. So especially when I don't try to push my agendas on people or how I feel about the team on people. I call it how I see it. You know what I mean? And I respect everybody's thoughts on the team. You know what I mean? It's your team as much as it's my team. I'm not the owner of the team. I'm a fan. You guys are fans. You know what I mean? We can have agreements and disagreements on what we think is the best course for this team to take to get better. Because I think in the end, most of us, I mean, if you're a real fan, I think most of us want the team to get better. Correct? You know what I mean? But I do feel like there's certain fans out there that, again, would rather the team not be successful so they can troll than to want success. They'd rather be able to be right with the things that they say. And I'm not that person. I don't care about being right. You know what I mean? I don't care about being right. I care about winning. So if I'm wrong every day that I get on here, but we win games, I'm happy. If Zach, I'm not happy about the Zach Wilson signing. I've made that clear. I don't think it was the best. I don't think it's what we could. It was the best move we could have made. But if Zach Wilson comes in and is the next reincarnation of Dan Marino, I'm super happy for that. I'm not going to be upset because I was wrong. I'm not going to try to flip it because I was wrong. I'm going to be happy as shit. I'm going to be like, yeah, we got a quarterback. Yeah, we got the next coming of Dan Marino. And I just think that the fan base, lots of times, a lot of the fan base isn't on the same wavelength. And I feel like every time I say something, people are trying to attack that. You know what I mean? Some people try to attack that and come at me like, I'm not all Mr. All Knowing. You know what I mean? I'm just a fan. So, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there. Listen, when I say something, you can differ in opinion. It's just my opinion. My opinion can be wrong just like anybody else's. My opinion can be wrong just like anybody else's. I'm not always right. I just call it how I see it. I've been following this team a lot of years. I know the game of football. But again, I'm not an expert. I'm a diehard fan that cares about the team. You know what I mean? Thank you, Irvin. Good morning, Cap. I appreciate that, Timothy. The corner that we signed was Artie Burns, Miami kid. He's 29 years old, 6 foot, 187 pounds. Played at the U. He was a track star at Miami. He was drafted number 25 in 2016 by the Pittsburgh Steelers. His career, he started his career and it looked promising with the Steelers. From 2016 to 2019, he had decent stats. He played quite a few games. And then he signed with the Bears for the 2021 season and the Hawks from 22 to 24. Listen, his stats aren't overwhelming. I think he played in 4 games last year. He's not going to be the starter opposite Jalen Ramsey. He's not the answer we're looking for at the cornerback position. Could he be a nice depth piece? Sure. An experienced depth piece since we have Cam Smith back there. We have Storm Duck back there. Yeah, I mean, his career stats, he's got 199 career tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 38 pass deflections, and 4 interceptions. Listen, this guy, like I said, depth. I appreciate that, Bonnie. I appreciate the love. You know what I mean? He's just a depth piece. Again, this is what frustrates me about the front office of the Miami Dolphins is that we're running out of pieces. The pieces are coming off the board. And I know we still have the draft. And I know other players are going to still become available. But why are we sitting on our hands waiting? What if the right piece doesn't become available? What if the right piece doesn't come available? I mean, the free agency list, especially at certain positions, especially at a couple positions that we have glaring holes at, the list is short. The list is short. I want to see if I can pull up our depth chart right now. Let's see. Let me see. I don't know if it's showing up here because I can't see the screen. So I have to check real quick. I don't know. Why is it not? All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Doesn't make sense. All right. All right. Sorry, folks. I really need to go get to. What the hell? All right. Sorry. All right, here we go. Again, I need to get a mouse to me. So right now, this has that wide receiver. We have Jalen Waddle back up, Easy E. Then we have as the right outside. That's going to be Tyreek. D. Estridge. And then has Tyreek in the slot, Malik Washington, and Taj Washington. Ball, Karen Smith, Brandon Daniels, and that's it. Farmstead comes back. Right here, look at that. Left guard, Liam Eichenberg, slated as the starter right now. And again, I know it's still early. We're not 3 days. But it's still very worrisome to me. Eichenberg is on the team level as a starter. Now we got Aaron Brewer at the center, James Daniels at the right tackle. Not a whole lot of depth, though. Not a whole lot of depth at the current moment. You got his back up, Farrell behind him, and then of course you got Tua and you got Zach Wilson. So again, still more depth on that offensive line and the starting left guard. Let's take a look at the defensive side of the ball. Now, if you notice up here, our defensive line, notice there's no backups. You have no depth. And right now, at left defensive end, we got Dickerson starting. Phil starting. And then right defensive end, Zach Sealer. But there's no one behind those 3 players. You really want to go into a season with Matt Dickerson and Neil Farrell as your starters with no depth? That's terrible. Left inside linebacker, you got Jordan Brooks, Channing Tindall backing him up. Right inside linebacker, you got Terrell Dotson with KJ Britt. Right outside linebacker, you got Bradley Chubb and Quentin Bell backing him up. And then again, right here, left corner, Storm Duck is your starter, Cam Smith behind him. That's just not going to be good enough. Behind starting at strong safety position, you got Fitu Malafuno, and at the free safety, you got Ashton Davis with Elijah Campbell and Patrick McMorris backing them up. Right corner, you got Jalen Raymond, and then in the slot, you got Cater Kohu with the newly signed Artie Burns backing him up. It's just not good enough. You know what I mean? It's just not. In my opinion, it's just not good enough. We got to make something happen. And there's not a lot left. There's not a lot left. Can you hear me now? I think the connection right now is really bad. It's bad. What the freak? Sorry, I think the connection's really bad right now. My fault. Can you hear now? I can come back in. Hello? Can you hear me now? Sorry about that, guys. Jankety Jim, what's going on? Can you guys hear me better now? All right, sorry guys, sorry about that. Yeah, so we obviously the defensive line is terrible right now. Defensive line is terrible, and I got a list of players that are remaining. And listen, they're not even giving you more options right now on the defensive tackle. Like every other position's got 4 or 5 guys they're naming. People getting signed. Right now, the only person they have on the defensive tackle is Calais Campbell. And I really feel like the Miami Dolphins are putting all the eggs in the basket that they're going to be able to get Calais to come back. And I don't know if Calais is willing to come back here if he doesn't think that we can contend. I know Miami's home for him. His heart is here. But I know that Calais is a competitor and he's a ship. He wants an opportunity to go out there in his last 2 years, and try to win something. And I know that Baltimore wants him. So if you're Calais, what do you do? Yeah, I know who he is, Finns Fanatic. Kenneth Grant. I like Kenneth Grant a lot. We did a mock draft on the Blitz last night, and I took Kenneth Grant in the first round. I like Kenneth Grant a lot. Any thoughts on Garrett Bradbury, former first-round pick center just released by the Vikings? Can he play left guard? I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked into if he can play guard. I mean, most offensive linemen can usually, especially centers and guards, have played both. I mean, just because you're a good center doesn't mean you're going to necessarily be a good guard per se. Yeah, I can try to go out and come back in and see if that helps, but I'm not sure if it's gonna allow me to. I might have to start a whole new live stream. But yeah, Calais Campbell's the only thing that's left. The Chiefs want him to. He says so. Definitely going to be. You know, who do you think? Do you take? Do you take? Man, what the hell is going on today with this computer? I'm so sorry about this today, guys. Yeah, I mean, Fin Fanatic, I'm telling you, if we get all of this in the offseason, I smell defensive tackle, offensive line, cornerback. He says, very mighty thing to do. Sign a guy that's only ever played center and move him to guard. I think we need a left guard who plays left guard. Greer is always spare. Yeah, I get that. So right now, there's available guards that we can go out and get. There's definitely guards out there that we can go get. Tevin Jenkins from the Bears is still available. He's still out there. You can still get this guy. Brandon Sheriff from the Jets, still get him. Will Hernandez from the Cards. Shaq Mason from the Texans. Any of these guys is an upgrade over Liam Eichenberg. Any of them. And like I said, you're gonna still go sign or draft a guard. You're still gonna draft a guard, but we need some depth too. We can't be an injury away from Liam Eichenberg stepping in and having to play. That doesn't work. That doesn't sit well with me. That doesn't sit well. Yeah, and I know that we want to get younger and we want to build this team with young players. Bring in an older player to play so Liam Eichenberg's not playing. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. I'm pretty sure those are on our draft room board. Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, Banks Jr. Yeah, I mean, they're all very good players. Pretty sure I'm lagging again. I don't understand it. Yeah, Membu, last night in mock draft, Membu went at 4. Membu went at 4. It was crazy. He's probably helped his draft stock more than any other player, honestly. So we need another guard. We need defensive tackle, which we just discussed. The only one we're signing right now is Calais Campbell. Will more become available later on? I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be, but you know, I was talking to CB83. When I was talking to CB83 yesterday, we were discussing whether we're close or we're far away, whether we're close or whether we're far away. We are close to competing. Yo, this computer's pissing me off. Listen, guys, I'm going to try to close this out and come back in. Doesn't let me come back in. I'm going to create a new live stream, and I'll be back on in 5 minutes max. But I can't take that it keeps doing this. So I'll be back, okay? Hopefully it lets me just stay here. Hopefully it lets me just come back in. Hello, hello, hello. Is that better? Am I lagging? Am I better? Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that's better. I think we're going to draft positions. We need to avoid lacking up any more money. Rookie contracts are cheap, an easy way for a team that is over its head and money to climb back slowly. Yeah, I mean, but do you trust Chris Greer's drafting ability? And you can't have it sounds nice to fill 4 or 5 holes with rookies, you know what I mean? But these guys are still rookies. And how successful do you think the team's going to be if you got to start 5, 6 rookies, especially in key positions? You know what I mean? You got to take that into accountability too. It's you can't just start 6 players that are rookies and expect that there's not going to be major hiccups. I don't care. I don't care how great the rookie is. They're still going to experience some kind of, you know what I mean? So that's why I think you got to add some through free agency. I think we need we've added some depth, but the only starter that we've really added is at the guard position in James Daniels. So I still think, I'm all right with relying on the draft to go and get some players, but we need to get a couple starters still from free agency. Miami would be lucky if Campbell or Banks fell to 13, but knowing Greer, he would pass on good talent like those guys and take a defensive back instead. He does like his corner sack, man. First and second rounds are starters damn near. Look at Chop. He had a few hiccups, but he picked up quick. I mean, Chop didn't really come on till about 6 games left. Chop really didn't start hitting his stride till about 6 games left. And Chop still struggles to set the edge on the run. I mean, he was starting to get to the quarterback, but he still struggles with the run. Oh, here we go. Checking for updates. Just take me away. What the freak? What the hell is going on, man? This damn computer this morning, man. I saw a mock draft where Dart went in the top 10. Jesus. Chop was used correctly. He was left isolated. He had absolutely no help. Yeah, I agree. Quarterback Artie Burns was drafted in 2016, lost his starting status in 2018, never regained it. Will he start for Miami? No, he's not a starter. Edward, he's not starting. He's definitely not a starter. Scotty, we didn't have no choice but to use Chop the way we had. We didn't have a lot of other options at pass rusher. I mean, that's just my opinion. They had to use him the way they could use him. Hopefully he gets better opportunities this year. All I'm saying is since McDaniel has been here, our drafts have been better. That's about it. You can go through the list of. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying it's hard for me to believe that they're going to come away with 4 or 5 starters from this group. You know what I mean? Burns is a depth piece. He'll likely make the team, but not as a starter. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they had him slotted in behind Kader Kohu at the slot. Scotty says that was Greer helping Drew out with a client. I'm hoping 3 quarterbacks go in the top 10, push some talent down. That would be nice, Timothy. That'd be nice that a run on some players that we don't have our eyes on. The real question is, do you think Greer takes Will Johnson if he's available? Because Greer likes his corners. Will Johnson might be a guy that falls to that 13th pick. I personally don't take Will Johnson. I'm taking defensive tackle. At this point, with how bare our cupboard is at defensive tackle along our defensive line, I feel like we're almost slotted in to take a defensive tackle. Here's the key in the draft room, and they want to come with 5 starters. We have to be realistic. We probably barely win 1 playoff game. I've been a fan for too long to be delusional. Will Johnson might go to the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, listen, that draft could play out in so many different ways. Ramsey is a step behind. We released Fuller. What choice do we have? I wouldn't have released Fuller. It's going to be DT or cornerback. It's very obvious at this point to me. Yeah, I mean, there are two biggest glaring holes. I mean, there's still a major hole on the offensive line, but they feel like they've addressed it to a point. Defensive tackle, we don't have anything. We have nothing. Realistically, if we given the opportunity, we should jump at trading down and getting as many draft picks as we can in the 45 to 100 range. Target rich environment there. Should have drafted Milton. Yeah, I mean, in most mock drafts that I do, I try to trade back to 20, 21, 22 because I still get a top defensive tackle. And then Tyler Booker from Alabama, he might not be at the top of a lot of people's lists at the guard position, but the guard from Alabama, he usually falls to me with my second pick. So that's usually the way I try to attack it. Now, these mock drafts, like I said, the draft board's not going to fall like these mock drafts do. You could do a million mock drafts and chances are you're never going to see the board fall how it really falls. I mean, do you guys trade back if Membu falls to 13 because he is such a top prospect at the guard position and can play tackle? I can't see Jihad falling to 48. I always see him in the first. The linebacker, right? I mean, if we could draft like my mock drafts, we'd be good. We'd be good because I've came away with some steals. In my mock drafts. But yeah, I think we definitely target defensive tackle probably with the first pick, unless Chris Greer goes out of his mind and takes a corner. Membo is the perfect fit for our system and need, and he'd be best player available. I couldn't pass on him. That's what I'm saying, Scotty. Like, there's certain players that I wouldn't trade back, but if Membu's not available, or I don't know what other player would have to fall to 13 to make me not want to trade back. Did you say to the homie CB83 that the team is more competitive now post free agency or no? Couldn't hear with you and all that static and choppiness. Do I feel like the team is more competitive now after free agency? I can't listen. It's incomplete. It's incomplete. I can't. That's an unfair thing to ask. You know what I mean? The team is too incomplete right now. So if you held me at gunpoint, I'm going to say we're less competitive just because the team's not fully put together. We don't have a full team right now. I don't. I'm very surprised we released Fuller, and I think for the most part, all the beat writers and stuff were surprised we released Fuller too. Fuller didn't play bad for us, and I don't see why you create a hole on a team that has a bunch of holes when you didn't have to. Membu is a guy who's played on the left side, left tackle at Missouri, and can kick into guard and can play right tackle if Jackson gets hurt again, and can even be replacement for Jackson if the injury stuff continues. That's what I had told that TD on the AFC East Miami Dolphins roundtable 2 weeks ago. If you go back and watch that, I had said that, I would take Membu. Membu can be slated as your starting guard immediately. And I said, if Austin Jackson gets hurt, he can slide over the tackle. And I said, you know what? Austin Jackson might not get his job back then. Jackson might end up kicking in the guard. That's how talented I think Membu is. The Eichenberg impact alone will change the entire outcome of our season. Just think about it. If Greer considers him our starting left guard, compared to him not making the 53 polar opposite outcomes. Yeah, I want to hope that that's not what he believes. I hope he doesn't see Eichenberg as the starter. Do you really believe he thinks Eichenberg can be the starter this year? I keep hearing this thing about status quo. Status quo. The status quo won't do. But if you're going to, at your worst positions, remain status quo, how do you expect to be better? Yeah, I think Fuller's healthy. He dealt with some concussion issues last year. He had a couple concussions last year. But I still think you bring him back. He went healthy. He played well. That's sad, Scotty. That's sad. That's terrible that the player we rely on to evaluate talent and bring talent to the Miami Dolphins, if we really truly believe he thinks Eichenberg is a quality starter in this league, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Edward, they're both bums. They're both bums. Cat for Life, ESPN's Adam Schefter believes the Giants and Steelers are more plausible landing spots for Russell Wilson than the Browns. Yeah, I think Russell Wilson is cooked. Russell Wilson should be a backup at this point. The fact that teams are still willing to let him start is crazy. Liam is Greer's love child. Yeah, it's starting to look that way. He's got a couple of them. I would not personally move Jackson to left guard or any guard spot, as he was not good like 2021. He was subpar. Did you see Ike's little post after he signed his 1 year last week? Even he looked like he knew everyone would hate that he was resigned. Yeah, they were saying that. Like, I was watching Barry Jackson, and he had said that he was surprised that Eichenberg re-signed just because he's taken a beating from the fan base. Absolutely, Sackman 56. If you exchange the name Isaiah Wynn for Liam Eichenberg, listen, I feel completely better about the situation. Do I think Isaiah Wynn should be the starter, and we should be okay with that? No. But if Isaiah Wynn was the starter, let's say week 1, I still feel a million times better than what I do than with Eichenberg the starter. Yeah, Scotty, that's what I'm nervous about. That's what I'm nervous about is that he thinks he's done enough to the offensive line that he don't need to go out there and get anybody before the 4th round. And that's terrible because this draft is so deep. Yeah, when Russ went to Denver, it was over. He's probably one of the top 5 most hated Dolphins all time. I don't think he deserves that much hate, but I digress. I mean, let's keep it real with Eichenberg. I don't hate the guy, you know what I mean? I just don't want him on my team. Now, Eichenberg has had it rough since being a Miami Dolphin. Let's keep it real. The guy has never been able to concentrate on one position. He's never been able to concentrate on the left guard and be able to just worry about getting better at left guard. Every time he's plugged in somewhere and he thinks he's going to get an opportunity to just practice at guard, next thing you know, he's got to start at center. Next thing you know, he's got to start at right guard. Then he's back to left guard. I mean, a lot of the reason why he might not be progressing and getting better is because of the coaching staff switching his position all the time. Go get Clay Webb in the 4th. Yeah, I mean, Webb would still be an upgrade. He's Ray Finkel. Yeah, I mean, Finkel is a hated Dolphin. So I mean, I think a lot of Eichenberg's issues are created by the team. He was never given a real fair shake. You know what I mean? He was never given a real opportunity to just go get better at his position. Now, I still think he's limited. I don't think that he would have some major breakthrough if you just let him concentrate on one position. But, I mean, it would have been nice if he was given a fair shake. That's how people feel about Tua. They don't hate Tua. They just don't want him on their team. Same thing. But Shake, the way I see it is that we've dealt with a lot of bad quarterbacks, and Tua isn't as close to those bad quarterbacks. If you can find a replacement that's better than Tua, I'm all ears. I'm all for it. But you want to what are we throwing Tua away for? The fans that hate Tua are delusional in the fact that they think that Tua is just the worst thing ever. That he can't do anything right. And that's not facts. I'm curious, was Butch Berry that wanted Liam back? I mean, who knows? I can't. If you sit there and watch the offensive line day in and day out, and you see Liam Eichenberg getting beat constantly, and you see Liam Eichenberg doing splits on the field constantly and getting on his ass constantly, I don't see how you could want him back. People dislike Tua, but We here still talking about his patched up O line years later. That's true, Aqua. It's true. Eichenberger. One positive I can see in his gameplay is Ike is a agitator. He manages to piss off linemen. Yeah, I noticed that too. Like people like to try to come over and they have issues with Eichenberg all the time. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you can, please. Please, thank you. See how many likes we at right now. How many likes we at right now? The other day we got over 30 before the show was done. I was super happy about that. That was the most ever. That was the most ever. We got 15 right now. 20 people in the building, 15 likes. That don't add up. What up, Nick? Tua has freaking too many concussions. Yeah, that's my major issue with Tua. My issues with Tua isn't anything to do with his play. Now, that's not to say that he hasn't pissed me off with his play at times. But my major issue with Tua Tagovailoa is the fact that we can't count on him on a year-to-year basis. We can't count on him. Any regular hit to our quarterback can send this team. We could have a Super Bowl team. We could be cruising. And all it takes is one hit to our quarterback for that to go up in smoke. And that's not the way to go about business. That's not the way I want my team to be ran. Scotty says, I'm only asking for an average O-line. Can we at least get an average one? I feel you, Scotty. I feel you. His play sucks. Are you blind? I mean, he sucks. You think Tua sucks? I mean, I can't say that he sucks, brother. I've seen sucky quarterbacks. I have. I've seen really, really bad quarterbacks. And Tua Tagovailoa is not one of them. On most days when my team goes out to play, I've gone through lots of periods as a fan of the Miami Dolphins that I went into Sunday's games and knew there was no chance we could win. I've seen Cleo Lemon, John Beck. I agree, Aquavision. I've seen them too. Josh Rosen sucked. Yeah. I've seen sucky quarterbacks, brother. Tua Tagovailoa does not suck. Does he go through spurts where he drives me crazy with some of his decision making? Sure. But like I said, for the most part, when Sunday comes along or Monday night comes along or Thursday night comes along and Tua's the starting quarterback for my football team, I feel like we have a legit shot of winning the game. Big C, who are your top 5 middle linebackers in the draft? I'm going Campbell, Walker, Knight, or Paul. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the right list, Tim. I mean, that's probably the top 5. Even the microphone knows it's not true. It keeps breaking up every time somebody says Tua is great. No one, listen, Cap, no one said Tua's great. See, you guys that dislike Tua hear what you want to hear. I said Tua doesn't suck. I said Tua's good enough to win and help this team win. Exactly, Bonnie. Who here said Tua is great? That's what happens with the Tua haters. They're so concentrated on hating Tua that you think that everybody that doesn't have something negative to say about him thinks he's Joe Montana, thinks he's Dan Marino, thinks he's Darian, and so maybe Jeff Wilson is good enough to win. You paid him great money to be great. We overpaid Tua. I'm not gonna listen. I didn't pay Tua. I didn't pay Tua. Tua's overpaid, in my opinion. I think most players in the NFL are overpaid. We've came to a time in the league that every time someone signs a new contract, they feel like they should be the highest paid players in football at their position. I don't feel like that. The top paid players should be Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, maybe a Joe Burrow. Everybody else should be considerably lower. You're not stating facts, Cap. It's not hating, it's not stating facts. He averages fumbles as a season in crucial moments, then blames the center. I mean, the center doesn't. We've seen the center snap bad passes. I'm not saying Tua doesn't fumble, but to say he he has 6 fumbles a year in crucial moments, and that none of them are the center's fault. Like, come on, that's hating. That's hating. Quarterbacks don't take pay cuts. I'm not saying he should take a pay cut. I'm saying that you should have never gave him top market value money. He should have been capped off at $40 million a year max. They don't hate Tua because they don't know him. If it was another team, they wouldn't think of him. As the number 5 pick in the NFL draft, they didn't get fair value. Yeah, would I take Tua as the 5th pick in the NFL draft? No. I wouldn't take him as the 5th pick. Tua is just another smaller, slower version of Marcus Mariota. He's a backup quarterback at best. I wouldn't go that far, Sack, man. I wouldn't say Tua couldn't start in this league. I don't think Tua's not a starter in this league. And I think that's a poor comparison, Marcus Mariota. I think Tua's better than Marcus Mariota. Some folks wanted Watson in his contract, had no issues with it. I didn't want Deshaun Watson, not at all. Should have just used the 5th-year option? Absolutely. I'm just saying, where's the AFC East titles the last 5 years? That's not an individual stat, brother. Chad Pennington, Jay Fiedler have more AFC East championships. Tannehill won the division with the Titans. No, he didn't. The Titans won the division championship. None of those quarterbacks won anything by themselves. The Tua is the only problem. Crowd is in full foot for. Yeah, they are right now. They are. Did Syrian Neal sign with somewhere else? He was a hell of a special teams player. That suck. Matt Moore and Chad Henne got rings with KC. So what does that mean, though? These constant facts that get put in the chat but have no real meaning. So Matt Moore and Chad Henne held a clipboard and won a Super Bowl. What does that mean? Made his name on one throw in college football. Should have got Lamar when we had the chance. I agree with that. We should have went and tried to sign Lamar Jackson. Good morning, AVS. Russ Wilson, how is he still considered good? I think Russ is done. Scotty, it's a slow Tuesday. Listen, I'm not telling you to love Tua. I just know I've seen bad quarterback play. Like I said, does Tua make bad plays and sometimes he pisses me off? Absolutely. But there's lots of times that Tua moves this offense down the field. And I really, truly believe from what I've seen in 2023, that was the year that Tua was fully healthy. That was the year that you put an offensive line in front of him. We were cruising. We had the number one offense in all of football. You can't ask for better than number one. And when you gave the guy a Tyreek Hill, a Jalen Waddle, a Devon Achane, and an offensive line, the guy produced the number one offense in all of football. You can't ask for more than that. So the 1 year we give to an offensive line plus the weapons, he gives you the number one offense in football. You can't. What else can you ask for? I hope so. I hope we get 40. I hope we get 40. Not if I got to defend our quarterback every day. And I don't even want to defend him. Like, if you came with real things about how he played or this or that, I'm cool with that. Cap, the season ended the way it did, not because of Tua. I mean, it did happen because of Tua, but that's my bone that I pick with Tua, is that Tua can't stay healthy. And that's why I can't have him as my long-term quarterback of my football team, because he can't stay healthy. But when Tua was on the field last year, we were pretty good offensively. That's not true, Darian. It's more so the fact that we couldn't. Last year isn't so much about figuring out what our offense was doing. It was more so about the offensive line, I'm telling you. That's just the defenses must figured us out. Oh, the defenses must have figured us out. No. They figured out that we can't run the ball and we can't pass block. So they figured out that they can drop 7 in the coverage and rush 4. Greer continues to ignore O-line. We talked about trenches the last 3 months and a big nothing burger, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired. Maybe Dolphins brass should start looking for a new coach. I'm sure they got some people in mind. Tua can throw outside the numbers though. He can throw outside the numbers. Can he consistently throw a 50-yard bomb? I wouldn't say that. But most throws Tua can make. We're talking about a very small amount of throws that most quarterbacks take. And again, you show me the stat that shows how many 50-yard throws, air yards that Josh Allen had last year. Can someone find that stat? Can someone find the stat of who led the league last year in the most 50 plus air yard throws last year? Offensive line excuses are predictable. So isn't blaming the whole team's downfalls on the quarterback. Tua can throw outside the numbers, though. He can. What do you, because he can't throw 50-yard bombs consistently? Again, someone please find the stat. Who led the league with the most 50 plus air yard throws in the league last year? I want to know the number. No, Eichenberg is not a good player. Tua's a good player. The fact that you're comparing Eichenberg to Tua that's delusional. Jared Goff led the league with 8. With 8. So Tua can't be the quarterback in the Miami Dolphins because of 8 passes a year. And that's leading the league. That's leading the league on one of the most high-powered offenses we've seen in years. He threw 8 50-yard passes, air yards, not 50-yard plus touchdowns. I'm talking about in the air for 50 yards. I find that hard to believe that he threw for 8. He might have had 8 50-yard touchdown throws, but 850 air yards. Fumbling too. He may have. How many more fumbles does he have than other quarterbacks? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That's why the receivers are always having to stop. Listen, you obviously got your opinion about him. I got my opinion. I've watched him be one of the top passers in the league. A lot of our passes are quick passes, but that doesn't. Yeah, see the numbers even lower. The numbers are even lower. Listen, I'm not going to keep going back with the Tua thing. If you don't like Tua, cool. He's the quarterback of your football team, though. And I think that we need to find a replacement for Tua because regardless, I think we need to find a replacement for Tua. It's not going to be this year, so I'm not going to harp about it this year. I high powered, really, yeah. I mean, if number one offense in the league, you can't be better than number one. You can't be better than number one. But I think we need to find a Tua replacement because of health reasons. You can think it's because of play. Listen, if you want to go back to searching for a quarterback and dealing with the Cleo Lemons of the world, that's fine by me. But I remember those guys, and I feel like if Chris Greer gets on the ball and fills some of these holes that we have, we can compete. We can compete. So again, still available in free agency at guard. You got Tevin Jenkins for the Bears, Brandon Sheriff for the Jags, Will Hernandez for the Cards, Shaq Mason for the Texans. Any of those would be a major upgrade over Liam Eichenberg. Again, defensive tackle. I really think we're going to, in the first round of the draft, we got to go defensive tackle. I think our hands are tied at this point. Corners still left. You got Rasul Douglas for the Bills, Asante Samuel Jr. for the Chargers, Mike Hilton for the Bengals, Stephon Gilmore. Listen, I wouldn't mind seeing one of these brought in, drafting a young guy also. Rasul Douglas played great for the Bills last year. Stephon Gilmore is still playing at a high level. Mike Hilton's more of a slot corner. Asante Samuel, he's the youngest of the bunch. He's probably going to be the most expensive. Can he get his career back on the right path? We should see. Safeties is becoming far and few between too. You got Justin Simmons and Julian Blackman. I would like to see us bring in Justin Simmons, one of the guys, just for experience more than anything. But I think Justin Simmons would be a nice fit for us. Yeah, I mean, but the people that are available is starting to dwindle down. It's dwindling down. But yeah, we need to make a couple more moves before the draft, but it's not looking too promising. It's not looking too promising. Nobody. I don't think we sign anybody major. Maybe we add some more depth pieces, people that aren't going to really start. But other than that, and that's where Jeff Wilson comes in, polar opposite. Who's Jeff Wilson? The running back? Are you talking about Zach Wilson? I agree. Defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant at 13. I think we could trade back to 20 and get Kenneth Grant. Because their defense struggles over there. I think Grant goes before 13th if we go Graham. You think Grant goes before 13? Mike tripping again. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get it figured out by tomorrow. Sorry about that, Travis. Make sure you hit that like button for me. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get this computer fixed up so I can not be having this problem. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's who's available. Obviously, we're going to keep going through the Tua argument. That's every show I am on, every show I do, it seems like it always falls back to Tua. I wouldn't be surprised if Greer takes Will Johnson at 13 if he falls. I agree, Bonnie. He likes his corners. He likes his corners. Yeah, I'm gonna reset the modem and stuff. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Make sure you keep an eye out for the AFC East Miami Dolphins roundtable tonight. I'm not positive if TD got something set up, but check that out. And CB83's got something. He doing a live show tonight. I might go on there and kick it with him. We'll see. I appreciate you all. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties today. I'll try to get those ironed out for you. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. What is that playing behind you? That's it's an episode of the Fin Posse podcast where it talks about us signing James Daniels. All right, thank you so much. Peace out, guys. Love y'all. And fins up. I had to change the entrance video a little bit. Let me know what you think.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing